Let's get to your world and the sky mirror covering March 17th to March 27th, 10 days coming up. On March 23rd, there's a full moon at 3 Libra, and it's an eclipse of the moon, so some moon stuff could go away. There's a lot of squares going on right now which make for high energy. You know, here's Venus squaring Mars. Everybody feels romantic and sexy, but nothing ever works. It's overdone and there's obstacles. Here's Venus opposing Jupiter. You know, the poor girl's in trouble. She's arguing with the wise people and she won't follow advice. And she's overdoing it. And here's Venus squaring Saturn. My goodness, she acts up too much here. She's probably going to wind up in jail. She'll have to stay between the lines. Saturn is stationing. Yes, I'm getting into it. I realized that when I draw, you know, this chart, I have these lines. I had a red pencil, and I got to stay between these lines. See, and I suddenly I was back, you know, in this kindergarten and with coloring books, and you stay between the lines. Some people outlined. I remember they outlined the whole thing, you know, very carefully, and then they could fill in, and it wouldn't be so troublesome to stay between the lines. But that's Saturn. There's this limitation. And you know what? Now, everybody that drives a car is also staying between the lines, aren't you? Yeah. And now your life is on the line. You're driving. You better stay between those lines. That's Saturn. We do it all very well. I mean, you don't notice it, but you're driving, you know, 4 feet from somebody the opposite way. If you crash, you're dead. That's Saturn, man. They can stay on your side of the line. Well, more on that later. When is Saturn station? It's stationing on... Well, I'll get back to that shortly. March 25th at 16 degrees of Sag, squaring Jupiter at 16 Virgo. Yeah, so this is the forces of Saturn, the old boys, and they're blocking any liberal. These are conservatives blocking liberals. Anyway, what's it like for you? What's it like for you is it could get cold. As you come up to March 25th, it peaks out on March 25th and then goes down. I find the markets usually react 20 days before this. So the 3rd, 4th, 5th of March, you know, when Saturn starts to act up, people get conservative and they go out and they buy gold. Yeah. When Jupiter slows down, also 20 days the other side of this, they're still conservative before it all wears off. So usually you see the price of gold goes up as Saturn stops. People feel scared. When Jupiter stops, they get all optimistic. They sell their gold to go off and do new things, but this Saturn is squaring Jupiter, see? And so it's not going to give Jupiter a chance to balance it out. This is the judge, and he's not listening. He won't. He made a gag order on all the lawyers and everybody who might give him more information, and so he's blocking optimism and taking charge of pessimism. And you'll get more pessimistic. Now, you could possibly make some plans. You could be a manager, make a budget, make some long-term plans. You know, set some limits on yourself. I'm only going to eat, you know, so many pies a week. I'm going to cut down on this and cut down with that. Save money. That's what it's about. Saturn's an expert. Cross of matter over the crescent of people, emotions, moons. So he'll save money, you know, and not have so much food. That's why he usually is thin. Here's Scrooge. He's going to come at you on the 25th. Mark it on your calendar. You know, are you going to get organized or are you going to get depressed? Well, it's a tough one because Venus is in square. And so Saturn is also blocking Venus. Yes, stopping Venus about a week from where you're at. And she's not happy with that. It's too cold. I can't have fun. That we ran out of sugar. So it makes a T-square. You see here, Jupiter and Venus, the lesser benefic, greater benefic. Saturn stopping and saying, that's it for you guys. no more of that laughing, and no more of that loving, and he's going to put a halt on it. I'll try and show you a little bit about where this might happen. Of course, this is snow and ice and cold, and he freezes things, he crystallizes things. So he crystallizes the water, you get ice. And, you know, not in Hawaii, but, well, up on the mountain maybe. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on, is Venus is in trouble, and Saturn is going to make difficulties for everybody and make you depressed and sad. And boo to Saturn, the great malefic, malefic. So, what's it like day by day? Let's work our way up to it. Here's Thursday, your moon's still in Cancer, and it's not too bad, you know. Thursday morning was difficult, but Thursday night, here's a nice trine to the sun. And Thursday night on the 17th, you're watching that show, you can make a plan. Start making your plans. You know, when Saturn stops, you know, and goes retrograde, you may have to go over them again. So this is a first plan. This is not the final plan. Saturn's like that. That's why he's a good manager. You go over and make a plan once, and then he stops, retrogrades, goes back over the plan again, make sure it's right. Measure twice, cut once. And the third time he goes over, set, I've done it right, pour the cement, it all freezes up. The job descriptions, the money, the plan, all freezes up, and you're stuck with it. So that's why he's so cautious. So this is the first time you make these plans. On Friday morning, the moon goes into Leo on the 18th. And you'll feel energized. The moon trines Mars. Let's get out and get some physical stuff done. I had a plan last night. Let's make it physical. It feels pretty good. Here on Saturday morning, early, this is 3-4 o'clock in the morning, there's a trine to Saturn. And this is the idea, the plan just pops right up. It falls in your lap. Gee, I have enough money and enough time, and I can plan this and do it little by little. That's what Saturn likes. Saturday morning, middle of the day Saturday, here's the trine to Uranus. And we got the technical stuff going too. Saturn and Uranus are in trine. So you make the plan first with the physical stuff and the limitations of time and money. Then you allow the genius to flow and find innovations and ideas on how to make it all happen in a very quick, simple way. Kind of a neat Saturday. Sunday, the moon's still in Leo. As you go till past breakfast, it shifts into Virgo. Things start to get tense. Sunday night, the moon squares Mars. Everybody's ticked off. Everybody's angry. There's just nothing going. It's not happy time. Whoa, what's that? The little tiny girl out in front, and she yells, and the dogs in the neighborhood bark, and that's Mars. Dogs are Mars. So there's a lot of barking dogs Sunday afternoon and pissed off people. And Venus, she's the one that may be screaming here Sunday night. She's getting stuck, you know, and this is the first time she knows it. And Mars could be kind of abusive, huh? This is Sunday night. I would not look at a young man, Venus, if you're a young girl. No. And it's confusing because here's an opposition to Neptune Monday morning. And how many drinks did I have? There's confusion. So Venus is kind of confused, huh? Yeah, she's very close to Neptune. And she could get drunk, she could get stoned, she could just get all idealistic and go off and want to do her own thing. Mars is there, squaring her. She's over-energized, too much hero. So keep an eye on those young gals. Sunday night, Monday morning. Monday gets more difficult with the moon in the middle of Virgo. It's going by Jupiter, and everybody should be laughing and clowning and getting shots of wisdom. But Jupiter's squaring Saturn real close. So no sooner do you think about this bright new idea than you find out, no, the politicians won't listen. There's no money. That can't fly. It got frozen. And you're stuck. And the moon opposes Venus here. This stuff is is kind of exact, you know. Astrology really is an exact science. You got to work at it a little bit, but it is. So here's the Jupiter line right here, and then comes the red line. The Saturn comes in just a little bit later. Now, Venus is in trouble here too. So this is not a good time Monday night. The moon does go by the north node and everybody feels nurturing. That's not till midnight or so, you know, and overdid it, got in trouble, and wind up apologizing and nurturing people Monday night. You're still thinking about Tuesday, and then in the afternoon after dinner, the moon shifts into Libra and all the vibes change again. And it starts with difficulties with Mercury. It's hard to talk and communicate Tuesday night. What did you say? But Wednesday morning, Moon in Libra has a nice sextile to Mars. You can get out and do the physical things. Remember your plan? Yes. It seems like it gets thwarted a bit. There's a full moon. You know, Wednesday, middle of the day, it kind of covers the afternoon and part of the morning. But in the morning, too, there is a trine on the 24th to Saturn. You say, well, I didn't get as much done as I wanted, but I'm following the plan. Thing is, there's a Pluto square. Eek, a bug. You know, panicky, territoriality. It happens around breakfast time Thursday. Is that a bug in my eggs? Eek! You know, and I feel kind of alone all the way up until Thursday in the middle of the day when the moon opposes Uranus. And we don't like all these weird people around. Basically, you know, these full moons are nothing to fool with. Now this one sextiles Mars, so Mars is going to be kind of machoed out. But it's still a full moon. And people are going to be over-emotional, and the faces are so large, and there's lunacy afoot on Wednesday for most of the day. So the Thursday morning panic and feeling of aloneness, you know, coupled with that full moon means it's a rocky Wednesday and Thursday on the 23rd and the 24th. On the 25th, well, the moon goes into Scorpio, and all the vibes change again. It's in a water sign, a fixed water sign. Things mellow out as you go into Friday. Here, late Friday night, early Saturday mornings, a nice trine to Neptune. There's music, inspiration. The higher heart is coming out. And Venus is going to get a chance. Here's a sextile to Jupiter in the middle of Saturday and a trine to Venus. And there is some love around and some sweets and some sex. And you can control it all. And Saturday is the day for a party. You got to calm down old Mars, you know. He's being left out a little bit, but he's been acting up lately anyway. So go for it Saturday. That's the time for fun and pleasure. No question. Sunday the 27th, moon's still in Scorpio. Good day for rest. Yeah, because Monday, on the 28th, the moon's going by that Mars, and it's going to get, you know, hot figuratively. People will be hot under the collar. Even though Saturn's there, you know, when you get Mars too close to Saturn, Saturn just shuts off the heat. You know, and towards the end of your next week, Saturn is stopping, and Mars is up to 7. Well, they're still, 9 degrees out, so not so bad. But Mars is going to come up there a week or two after that. And Saturn have a chance to really make it cold, huh? That's what he did. That's how Kepler started, you know. He got this funky job at the observatory, but his boss, a famous astrologer, died in Denmark, and he had to suddenly put out a year's ephemeris with all the weather prognostications on it, and he didn't know what the hell, but he noticed that Mars came up and hit Saturn in the winter, and Saturn stopped, and he said, it's going to be really cold. And the last 2 weeks of this month, and later on in his letters, he said, I was amazed. My friend told me that at the very time, you know, that happened, he knows a guy who came in from the storm and blew his nose, and his nose fell off. And it was frozen. It was so cold. And Kepler was convinced that astrology worked, at least on the weather, huh?